we made it through another week, another day. The world was supposed to end on this fine weekend, but it didn't, and that means CommentForce 32 can continue. We are ready for another epic show of your comments, your thoughts, your feedback, your ideas, your concerns, and your blueberry pancakes. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach for SwitchForce. I've got Jake and Gabe here. It's been a wonderful week in the world of Switch because third-party support has been strong, sales have been strong, and the future is bright as Mario Odyssey is right around the corner. Gabe and Jake, why was your week bright?
I had pancakes last night. You mentioned pancakes. I hadn't had pancakes in quite some time. I had some, last night / morning. It was around maybe 3 a.m. Had myself some chocolate chip pancakes, as I do. Other than that, been playing a bunch of stuff on Switch. Thimbleweed Park and Steam World Dig 2 are the standouts. I love those games. Those are both very good little indie games. I've been playing a lot of them.
Fantastic. Jake, how many pancakes did you have yesterday?
I didn't have any pancakes, but I have a very old dog that's still cuddly, so that's a good start to. That's how I started my morning today. Actually, was with some snuggles from a 17-year-old poodle.
Rumor Force says that Nintendogs must be coming after Jake's subtle hint.
Mm-hmm. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
And we have some lovely comments coming. Thanks, as always, for you guys being a part of our week. We love reading everybody's comments, and we've picked a selection of them. And we'll start off with a kind of a soapbox speech from a Switch fan named Taker1, or Tickler the Tickler says, it's hilarious how people are just looking for stuff to complain about. It's obvious the Switch version isn't going to be 4K clarity, guys. You're basically expecting a handheld to run a AAA title at full capacity. If that's the case, then it's simple, man. Stick to the PS4 and Xbox. I myself has a PS4, but I love the fact that I can take the game on the go. Yes, you need internet access to continue your career in NBA 2K18, which isn't a huge deal for me. I can use my hotspot like others have mentioned and continue, or I can just play regular career. People are just complaining about needing to use hotspots or Wi-Fi to make the game fail. LOL, SMH. To me, the game looks awesome to be on a console, handheld, period. There are some things Nintendo needs to patch and fix, but remember, this console is about 6 months old. I just hate when people want to give their reviews opinions, but already have the mentality set that it sucks or doesn't live up to the 4K 1080 60 FPS standards. And I think this is an interesting take, because it sort of sets the stage for a lot of what was going on this week in terms of Doom having footage revealed, in terms of 2K18 releasing. People's expectations are kind of all over the board, and I kind of like this take that, hey, we just shouldn't even think along those lines.
Wait, were people expecting it to look like he makes it very clear that people were expecting 4K? Like, who's expecting that?
Well, not expecting it, but just like the dialogue being all about the frame rate and all about the pixels and all about all of these sorts of things, instead of does it run competently for a handheld, and not needing to compare them directly to the PS4 counterparts, but rather, is it good enough because this does more than just graphics?
Well, 30 FPS versus 60 FPS, I think that is a conversation worth having. That is how the game runs, and it's very different, as you can attest. You've played the game so you can tell that 60 FPS and 30 FPS is very different. So I feel like that's fair. The resolution, I don't care as much. It could be in 720, it can be in whatever, really, and that doesn't concern me as much. I just wish that the FPS was there just so that the gameplay felt the same, but because currently it doesn't.
Jake?
I agree with Taker one, I don't know, whatever his name. Why did he have to insert that one and throw it all off? Anyways, I agree that, I don't know why people are still, I guess they think since the Switch came out after the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and is in this generation of consoles, that they expect it to be competitive with them on every level, but it's competitive in different markets and different areas. So I'm not one in this camp where I expected everything to be the same as an Xbox One or PlayStation 4 quality in terms of graphics and frame rate and all that, because I just don't view the Switch as in the same category as the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One.
Yeah, I agree. What else is there to say on this one, really? Yeah, they're not going to look like PS4 and Xbox One games.
That they are not.
Gamer for Life WD says, I'm worried that FIFA 18 will sell badly because of the lack of story mode and no Frostbite powered graphics at $60. If they made it $40, it would make more sense. I think Bethesda, Ubisoft, and Sega are in for the long haul as long as the sales are steady. Capcom and 2K could be a problem if enough people don't want to deal with the SD card issue with NBA 2K18 and Resident Evil Revelations 2. I do hope that LA Noire sells well and gets us a GTA, Red Dead Redemption, and Bully.
The very first thing that I would go to on this is, so if you're a mother, right, that just purchased a Switch for your child, do you know that FIFA 18 isn't running on Frostbite engine? I would say the majority of games like that, the popular franchises such as FIFA, are purchased by parents for the younger kids or for the teenagers, whatever. And even then, let's say you're not a parent and you're just somebody that likes FIFA. Like, how many people really know that there's no Frostbite engine this time?
Well, and another thing is, back to the Switch versus other consoles thing, like, the main reason you get it on Switch is because you love the Switch and you love that the Switch can take it anywhere. You can play multiplayer on the go anywhere with a single Joy-Con. That's the reason I feel like people would get FIFA on the Switch. If you wanted the best top-notch graphics experience, then yes, you could sit on your couch and play it on another system. But I feel like the whole point of people buying it on the Switch is because of the form of the Switch and the play styles that it offers.
Yeah, I got two things here. One, before comments go off, don't think parents are the main buyers of FIFA 18.
I think they are, dude. I really think they are.
I really don't think so.
I could be wrong, of course, but
I think the main FIFA audience are people that can purchase the game for themselves. But that being said,
there's a lot of FIFA I wasn't trying to generalize. I'm just saying, I guess my only point, take the parents out of the equation. My only point is, most people that buy FIFA, they're more of casual gamers, at least traditionally. Like, they play FIFA, They play Madden, they play Call of Duty, and like, they're not out here like buying every single game. Like, I don't think they know that Frostbite isn't on the Switch version. Again, but I could be wrong. Like, I'm that's just my thinking.
Well, and that brings me to the next point, which is awareness or lack of awareness better? I think it's an interesting conversation, because if you do broadcast it, then you set the expectations. But if you don't broadcast it, then you don't open yourself up for direct comparisons. I think that NBA 2K18 looks and plays pretty darn awesome on the Switch until you play it back-to-back with the PlayStation 4 version. Now, it still plays good. It still looks good. It just is more noticeable that there is a disparity and a difference. So if you don't tell people, if there isn't this like, oh, here's the checklist of what's there and what's not there, will people feel better about the Switch version? And you could say that that's misleading, but I think it's more to the point of these versions are good enough, and even if they are not identical, like the first comment said, they never really were intended to be.
What are you going to do, put no Frostbite engine on the front cover of the Switch version?
No. I just mean the discussion becomes a lot like, oh, what's the frame rate? What's the pixel count? What's this? What's that? And yes, if you know that, if you're very aware, if you're very much like, oh, this one's running at 720 versus 900, or this one doesn't have Frostbite, it's a custom engine, or blah blah blah, then I guess basically what I'm trying to say is maybe the comparisons really aren't as appropriate as they initially seem to be. Maybe it should be taken into a separate sort of review, and it has nothing to do with like, oh, the Switch isn't deserving of a comparative review. Oh, the Switch isn't on par. I don't think that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that this is offering a completely different form factor, and it's offering a completely different experience. So how does the game work for that? And yes, if you're going to compare docked Switch to docked PS4, okay, yes, we get it. It's not going to look as good. It's not going to be as impressive. But that's really not what the Switch is trying to accomplish.
Well, and I think it's unfortunate for the Switch because it's like a review on paper. Yes, you can make a checklist like you were saying, and it doesn't. On paper, it doesn't seem as good, but the Switch sells on, like you're saying, like the experience and like once you play it there and how much fun you can have and how much fun you can have taking it on the go. So unfortunately, a lot of people go to YouTube or go to review sites or go online to read about games and see how they review or how they compare. And on paper, the Switch version doesn't look as good, but it's when you get it in your hands and how you can play it anywhere, like that's the selling point for the Switch version of these games.
Go ahead.
I think, Jake, that's one of the strongest points that any of us have ever made on this channel. You know, that it is a visual experience when we go and check out a game on YouTube, or we go and check out a review. The Switch doesn't really play by those rules. I mean, it does in some aspects, right? Like, oh, Mario Odyssey looks great. Oh, NBA 2K18 looks pretty darn good when they're up close. But a lot of it is that experience, and that's really hard to convey when you are not the one playing it, or when you're not the one, you know, there. I think the last point I want to make on Gamer for Life is like this $40 thing. I know a lot of people are upset that, like, oh, you know, something's come out later at $60 and you could get them for $15 on another platform, but like, the fact of the matter is games are already cheap, and we're not going to see that kind of initial discount because it ultimately devalues the entire Switch ecosystem.
All right, and really the last thing on the topic, I want to go to the midnight launch and ask everybody if they know what engine FIFA runs on. But other than that, let's go over
Please
to
do that, Gabe.
N-Train says, a prediction, 2018 Luigi gets his own open world game and green Joy-Con. You heard it here first. I don't believe you, N-Train.
I think it's...
You need more people.
I think it's an interesting idea, though. Maybe not like an open world game for Luigi, but if we get a Luigi's Mansion, will he get his own non-neon green Joy-Con? I think would be a very interesting thing. And like, you know, will that be a trend where they have all their major like single player experiences have their own Joy-Con set? And now that we know that they're willing to deviate from their neon path, so possibly they could have an infinite number of colors and all these different characters.
Yeah, I didn't put it in the CommentForce, but a number of people said, like, we forgot gray. Gray was the first non-neon color set, which is
true.
Great point. We didn't think of that.
It's neon gray, dude.
Yeah, leave us alone.
Gray. I think this will be interesting to see. Do they start giving us some smaller experiences? Could we get sort of how there
Captain
was like
Toad.
a new Super Luigi Bros U? Do we get something like that is like a downloadable? I don't know. I think that the Switch ecosystem is perfect for that sort of thing. We always talked about it pre-launch. Haven't seen anything like it yet, but maybe one day. In the meantime, Davis Kessler says, I really wanted to see an Odyssey Pro controller. We did too, Davis. We did too.
Yeah.
I like the Xenoblade 2 one. I think that looks real good, but I kind of wish there were more options. It's interesting that the Splatoon 2 one has the pink handle, and now the Xenoblade 2 one has a similar kind of color.
I think it goes back to how people were saying like the Pro controllers come out with games that are more appropriate, like for like quote unquote hardcore type games, and we're gonna be sitting playing for hours. And I've heard a lot of people say that Mario Odyssey has controls where you can play it, you know, with a Pro controller or whatever, but it has a lot of controls that are specifically made to be played with split Joy-Con, in the ways that you can throw Cappy and do different moves, like with like wiggling the Joy-Cons and things like that. So I think that they kind of wanted to push that move set and experience with the Joy-Con. So they put out Joy-Con with the game.
Probably.
On to the next one. We have Matthew Bryant with a big old chunk of text. NBA 2K18 came out same day as PS4 and Xbox One. Given the poor sales of Nintendo's last console, that seems pretty impressive third-party support. An LA Noire remaster from Rockstar is also same-day release. Once Switch hits the sales benchmark other third-party software makers are looking for, you will see same-day release. It's clear Nintendo got people like EA and Bethesda and Rockstar on the Switch dev stuff early after the marketing disaster that was the Wii U. I had Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, just got a Switch, and once the reality of the portable console set in, I had to go and get Zelda for the Switch. Good games should be something you want to play over and over. Nintendo could get away just waiting for what is popular, then porting it later till Xbox and or PlayStation decides to compete. Right now, Nintendo has no real competitors. Watch it sell like crazy through December and into January. Nintendo was fine with third-party support till they lost their market share in the console market to companies that were willing to lose money selling consoles due to their size as corporations compared to Nintendo.
I like this. I think it's really good to point out that 2K18 and LA Noire both are getting day-and-date releases. I think that's going to continue, and the trend in 2018 will be a far more timely third-party release schedule. I like his point also about what if Nintendo just waited, saw what was popular, and brought it. Obviously, we'll have to see what sales are like, but what if that was actually in their, like that play to their benefit. Like, okay, obviously, if AC Origins releases on all three, most likely the stronger sales are going to come from PS4 and Xbox One. But what if 3 months down the line, now it's available for Switch, and they could sort of pick and choose what came, what didn't come, offer up almost like a greatest hits of gaming, and now it's portable. So for people that missed out, or for people that want to play it on the go, now you have this like very, what's the word? Like a, what's it when they go to an art gallery and pick the things that they want? Like not the
cream of the crop
ish.
Curated.
Yes, a curated games library of like the best multi-platform.
The Switch is getting very sophisticated. You're gonna bow tie with every game, a physical copy now.
And look, like that's not realistic because obviously they're getting what they can get, but it's an interesting idea.
Well, I just feel like how big is the slice of pie that's left, right? Like if everybody everybody that really loves Assassin's Creed, because that sells millions of copies, they're getting it as soon as they can on the platform that they can. So it's available on PS4 and Xbox One. You lose such a large chunk of the audience there already. And will they be willing to double dip to buy it again? Because the audience that's left there isn't huge.
Right.
So, yeah, that's always the interesting like juxtaposition there. But we can go on here to Ryan Lance. He says, "Hello, Switchforce. I would like to submit my application for the Zach Friend Initiative." That's a weird word. "I am a fan of Nintendo, have been for years. My greatest Nintendo accomplishment has been using their products to procrastinate my homework for nursing school. Furthermore, I believe every friend group needs a nurse friend, a position which I can fulfill, as I will graduate and get my license before Wolfenstein is released. I look forward to hearing back from you. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day." Do not waste your time on this, Ryan. Go be a nurse.
I just like that there is the very specific caveat that he will have his license before Wolfenstein is released. Like, once Wolfenstein released, like, all hell breaks loose. Forget it. The Switch is now taking over everyone's lives because
gotta take care of them
incredible
Nazis.
Game.
I just like that he's so caring that he wants to make sure every friend group has a nurse in it in case anything goes awry.
I definitely don't have a nurse friend. I don't really have many friends at all. So
well, you have Ryan now.
Yeah, so Ryan, good. Thank you for filling the nurse. We need to really fill out the ranks here because right now all I have is YouTuber friends, and I have one college friend. So I'm really lacking. We're looking for a cook. We're looking for a nerd. Well, we got the nurse.
We have a cook. I like Jake's cooking.
Okay, Jake the cook. Okay, well we need now a driver. We need a maid.
None of you or your friends can drive.
Listen, I'm trying to set my life up here for maximum friend.
Wait. So what am I? Time. What am I? Am I your security?
It sounds like you're just trying to get unpaid employees.
What would I be? I don't know what I would be.
What is a friend besides an unpaid employee? Like, hey, come hang out with me. Hey, want to go to dinner?
That is not how friends are supposed to work. I think this is why you don't have many friends.
What is friends besides an unpaid employee?
No, thanks, Ryan. I appreciate you. I want you to. Here's what you can do for Switchforce, Ryan. You need to come up with a sleep schedule for us because we are mighty struggle bussing on the sleep. But yes, Jaker Kid says, "I like how you guys subtly dropped the nuke that Gabe switched to contact so that people didn't lose their minds and then quickly swept over it. Kind of like how the world governments are slowly drip feeding us info through media of extraterrestrial activity and visitation so that when the disclosure comes, we don't all have a meltdown. Did Fourth Edge finally get to Gabe? I still don't know what the Fourth Edge is."
Can I talk about contacts for like a minute?
Yes.
Ready, set, go.
I hate them. They're impossible to put on. I have never successfully put them on by myself. I always need some type of help. Taking them off is even worse. I can't keep my eyes open. It's terrible.
Ryan, we need you again.
It's terrible.
Be Gabe's contact placer person.
It's horrible. But yes, I did switch to contacts. I just don't like it. Like, my eyes are always itchy.
I just like how Jaker Kid, like, of all the things he could have picked out, that this was the big
Gabe without glasses is a different Gabe.
Very much so.
Has-been Gabe had glasses, new Gabe has contacts.
Yeah.
Joshua Brumley says, "I agree with having more digital board games come to Switch. There are more than a few good ports of games over on the phone/tablet scene, such as Sentinels of Multiverse. My favorite go-to these days. Company like Handlebra Games and Osmodi Digital make fantastic digital versions that are faithful to the original and fun to play on PC and mobile. Also, if it can run on my Shield tablet, uses NVIDIA K1 chipset, it'll run on the Switch. And I would love to have some awesome digital board games. I'm excited for, what's it called? The Fingers game.
Little Fingers.
Is that what I call it?
Tiny Fingers.
No.
10 Fingers.
Why?
Three little pigs and the mouse boy.
Yeah, that one. I'm excited to see how that one does because I think that the board games on the Switch would be really fun. And I think that Mario Party needs to have a tabletop element, or at least a tabletop mode. Like when they bring it to the Switch, it needs to have at least a mode where you can set it down and see the board, and like it'd be really cool.
It is called Light Fingers.
Yeah, there we go.
Breaking news, by the way, Inside just got announced for Switch. You guys gonna play that?
I've already played through it twice.
I've never played through it, so yes.
Yeah, no,
it's phenomenal, Jake.
That's why I said I'll play it.
It's one of my favorite indie games of all time. I like it better than Limbo.
All of the times.
All the time.
Every of the times.
Ben Young. That's enough. Ben Young, 76, says, glad I got it on both PS4 and Switch. Switch for OTG and PS4 for a higher quality experience. If the Switch graphics and cutscenes were a bit better, I'd totally say the Switch is the best version, but I can't go that far. Still runs amazingly for a mobile console. Console surprises me every day. I believe this is in reference to 2K?
Yes. NBA 2K18, and I like that he gets one for on the go, one for higher quality. Not everyone obviously has the luxury to own both consoles, let alone get it for both. But I do like the fact that console still surprises me every day. I think it's something that's impressive that 6 months in, the gimmick is not a gimmick. It is a straight-up gameplay enhancement that you can take this thing with you. And I love the fact that Nintendo finally glommed onto something that isn't viewed as just like a shtick, but as is viewed as an important way to play games and even an important way to justify a second purchase of a game. I think that's really cool, and kudos, bravo, to our boys at the Big N.
The Big N. Can you pitch them that idea that they should just call themselves the Big N?
I want Reggie to change his name legally to the Big N Fils-Ami.
Okay.
DJ Rinoa has a genius idea.
Oh, now we
have
a music friend.
Okay, good. We're all set. Music, Gabe's contact. Apparently, you're my chef. I need a post boy. Do you have someone that can mail all of my things?
Sort of
or a post girl. Post dog.
You don't send that much stuff out.
But he receives a lot.
Well, once I have all these friends, I'm gonna have to start sending letters.
All right, come on.
DJ Rinoa says Joy-Con trading site, make it happen. Someone, I'm ready to buy, and I like this idea. Although my personal germaphoba paranoia means I don't really want to touch your Joy-Con.
But you can clean them. Yeah, like you can clean them as soon as you get them.
My request is I will trade you Joy-Con as long as you send some alcohol swabs, rubbing alcohol swabs with them.
Wait, you can just have you can just have like alcohol like wipes there with you. Stop being so needy. You need a friend to make you less needy.
Yeah,
I need a friend who's gonna clean my Joy-Con now.
If you don't trust their Joy-Con, why would you trust their like sanitizing methods? Why would you have your own?
This is a good point. Okay, so I will just be the spokesperson for the Joy-Con trading site. Like, come all, trade the Joy-Con. It's the fall. You don't have many releases because Mario is coming soon, and then they'll trade them, and I won't have to touch.
Okay, you'll just be the connoisseur of all of the happenings. You'll be like the auctioneer.
Sure.
Yes.
Hudson Brooking says, if you could make any Splatoon stage and or a weapon, what would it be? Ooh, that's a tough one. I would probably say that I would make it'd be like a theme park, and the main center stage would be like a merry-go-round that had different weird sea creatures on it, like
oh god, you're spinning,
and it's like constantly rotating in the middle, so you can use it either as an offensive to like kind of propel yourself forward on one side, or like as a defensive to like get away or like hide behind the carousel things. But then there'd be like maybe like a roller coaster going around the outside of the track that you could like hop on and like shoot people on the inside, and be having the roller coaster go around the outside of it. That'd be a pretty cool one. I just think a theme park stage would be really cool.
I would make a literal floor is lava stage where you can't, like, you're gonna be playing like sideways and upside down the entire time. Like you can be on either one of like the side walls or on the ceiling, but not on the floor.
But are you still splatting the ground? Because that's the whole point of turf form.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, the floor is lava. No, I mean you can splat like the walls and the ceiling.
Okay,
like,
so there's walls and ceiling count on this map. It's
yeah. It's just that you're
inverted.
upside down.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just that you're upside down or like
Okay.
sideways.
All right, so I would have a Splatoon Inkopolis cafeteria where there's like a bunch of food all over, and it's kind of like a McDonald's playland where you have giant foods all over, and the weapon
So
would
the luncheon
obviously be the
kingdom.
yes, and the weapon would obviously be the flood.
Mm.
I want that flood. I want to floosh that ink straight out of Mario's friend's nozzle, and then I want to tell Gabe to read Turner Paul's comment.
Turner Fall says, just give us Splatoon motion controls for every shooter as an option. It would help with the aiming a lot for the fine-tuned aiming.
I do not agree with this because I don't use the motion control in Splatoon.
Yeah. And I know I'm in the minority, or Jake and I are in the minority. I know everybody loves the motion control in Splatoon. I can't do it. I don't know why. But
I think that's for me. I think it's because I'm a panic player, and when I get into a situation where like it's intense and like I need to like shoot someone, I think I get to like I always have to turn down the sensitivity because I'll like do too big of motions, and I think with my wrists I do too big of motions, and so it's too much.
Yeah.
Too big of motion. Jake, you need to slow down those motions. I felt like the motion was too big on the stick when I was playing Doom, and maybe it was optimization. Some people were noting that Doom was getting like some frame sticks, and maybe that was what was like causing me to have some aiming hassle. I don't know if I would like motion control and everything. I mean, it works super well for Splatoon, but I feel like the main reason it works super well is because the goal is to arc your ink all over, as opposed to like, specifically like coming around a corner and like whip action at somebody. I mean, you can still do that with motion. I guess it would just depend how they made the motion. Like gyro versus motion, I guess that's also a different thing. Like, do we want to be pointing or...
Yeah. Plus,
I don't know.
having options is good. Maybe give people the option.
Sure. Agent Red has my favorite comment of the week. Besides Ryan, thank you for being my friend. Since Super Mario Odyssey is coming out the first year of the Switch's release, could there possibly be a sequel like Galaxy 1 and 2? I highly doubt this will happen, but it would be cool. Yes. The age-old question, since we got Zelda, Mario Kart, and Mario in year one, do they sit out the rest of the generation, or do they bring us a second?
Well, the real question is, how long is the Switch generation?
Well, and also let's look at history a little bit. Twilight Princess was on 2 platforms, right?
Mm-hmm.
It came to Wii, was also on GameCube, and we did like get another Zelda in that console life cycle. We got Skyward Sword, so history says we get another Zelda just because this one wasn't a full-on like Switch exclusive Zelda since it was on Wii U. So maybe we do get another Zelda. Mario, I mean, possibly. I don't know which one of you two just said it. One of you did. Depends on how long the Switch exists for. I mean, we could probably assume at least another 2 or 3 years, at least.
Oh God,
if not more. Like, it probably has to be more since it is like so successful. But yeah, it's way too early to be thinking about the next console. Do I think we can get an Odyssey 2? Maybe.
Yeah, I guess it's just what do they focus on if they're going to be putting out more new IPs like Splatoon was and like ARMS is for this generation, and if they're going to be doing more like Luigi's Mansion, Pikmin stuff, Metroid all on the Switch, if they'll have time for it, and they want to just expand Mario into new areas like with like Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle and stuff like that, or if they want to stick to true Mario platforming and put out more of those. It'll be interesting to see. I think we get a 2D Mario before we get another 3D open world Mario.
Yeah, I agree. But although I just want to say that Galaxy and Odyssey are very different games. Odyssey is like much like bigger, and I think the reason why they say that this falls in line with Sunshine and 64, like we haven't had a Mario game like of that like scope and like size, I guess, in some time.
So let me ask you this: more likely to get another Zelda, or more likely to get another 3D Mario on Switch?
Zelda.
Wait,
to me, I think.
What kind of Zelda?
Yeah.
That's like, is it?
I'll go with that as well. Yeah.
I think we get another. I think we could get another mainline Zelda game.
I think we get both on Switch. I think Switch is going to be profitable enough to push a desire and a need and a reason to continue these franchises, similarly to how Galaxy 1 and 2, and also similarly to Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. But in the meantime,
Jonathan Kautsos says it's freaking Doom on the freaking Switch. Doom on the go. What more do you want? I'm getting it for sure.
Well said.
Thanks, PewDiePie. Nice to have you on the show.
That was
No,
near
PewDiePie is not
accent.
welcome. He is not welcome on our show. Gosh, why do I have to read this? I can't read this name. Wojcik Nikorowic? I'm sorry.
He's a
Wojcik.
He's like a knighted rat.
Sure. Stating that it's a rumor, keeping it short and professional, not clickbaity title. Good job, SwitchForce. Keep it up.
Hey.
We never want to clickbait you.
We are trying so hard. It's been a journey. Let me tell you. Everything we say is somehow viewed as clickbait or a spoiler, even though it's not. And so we have gone above and beyond to double, triple, quadruple, even synctuple check with each other and with other people and with ourselves to try and make sure that we provide you with a professional, non-clickbait title. We'll probably still make some mistakes occasionally or make some people frustrated, but for the most part, we've done a real, I think we've done a real bang-out job this week.
I think it's funny that like people think that we like sit around here in unison and say, "Ooh, how can we trick them this time?" Like that's not something we do. Like that's really not.
We legit do the opposite. Sit there and say like, how can we make sure that people aren't mad?
Yeah, like we try to make it clear while also being enticing, and that's a fine line to walk, I suppose, because like you guys say like, oh, you guys just want views. Like, well, yeah, you know, people that post videos on YouTube want views, sure. So we want to make the title as enticing as possible without misleading, and I feel like we're doing good at it now. I mean, I feel like we've been fine before, but people obviously had complaints. But thank you, we appreciate that.
And now a small little mouse named Gage Iannatelli has a strange rumor. Rumor: does SwitchForce is game explain?
That's great math.
I don't know.
Yes. The answer is yes.
We just said that we're not going to do spoilers, so I don't think we can answer this. And I don't want to clickbait you by giving you some sort of clever remark, so I'm just going to...
We SwitchForce be game explain.
I just like also his little picture. I feel like he's like a very like sneaky, sleuthy mouse.
He's the rumor mouse. The rumor rat.
God. Oh God, don't sick the rumor rat on us. Please, no, Gage. Keep the rumor rat away. No, I don't want him. No.
Jay, come on.
Biting my fingers. Get him out of here.
Link HHS says, hey, hi, hey, I have been wondering for a while where the Legend of Zelda series goes from here. I mean, everyone loves this new and expansive world, and it could never get old, but then again, people wouldn't necessarily want a sequel with the same things. I sort of hope the Legend of Zelda franchise doesn't just turn into a Skyrim series. Not bashing on Skyrim. We probably aren't going to see another 3D Zelda game until the 2020s, but it's still something I've been a little worried about. Is the next game still going to be an open world, or will it just be like how Odyssey is and have segmented places you can go to at any time? Is this sort of open world resource gathering game just a one-time thing? I would love to hear your comments, and keep up the great work.
It's questions like this that make me happy that I don't actually work for Nintendo. I don't.
Did you have the opportunity to?
It's an impossible decision. Like, what do you do? Like, do you go back to like the series roots? I mean, even Breath of the Wild was going back to the series roots, in some regards. But you know, everybody loved this evolution of it. Like Link here said. So, what do you do? Do you keep going bigger, more open? Like,
no.
I mean, that's what I wouldn't. For me, like the next Zelda game, I don't want it to be like this big and this open. But yeah. I know that's probably also unpopular at this point because Breath of the Wild is so like highly regarded.
Right. I think here's what I would do. Are you done, Gabe? You finished. Sorry.
Yeah, go.
I was gonna say I would take the landscape of Breath of the Wild, but have it not be where you're running across the map the entire time. Like, have segmented places that look open and vast and brilliant and vibrant, but have it be more segmented where you have like more like dungeon type things with very specific puzzles and things like that, that you go from one to the next, but have like the splendor and visuals of Breath of the Wild and that expansiveness visually.
Yeah. Well, for me, the next Zelda game I play, and you're probably right, we're not going to get another like 3D mainline Zelda until like 2020 something at some point. But the next Zelda game I play, I don't want it to be 3D at all. I would like, you know, something Spirit Tracks ish or Phantom Hourglass.
Spirit Tracks? That's the one you're gonna pick?
Man, I like Spirit Tracks. What's wrong with Spirit Tracks? I like Phantom
Real
Hourglass.
question is, we just have to ask the rumor rat.
I like these games. Like they're good.
Get that dang rumor rat out of here.
So
I honestly think
whatever
it's
next,
different.
whatever next Zelda, I hope it's smaller so that we can get it sooner, and it doesn't have to be 3D.
I can almost assure you that the next mainline Zelda is going to be 3D.
No, yeah, of course. I'm not talking about mainline. I'm just saying the next Zelda game I want. Take your time on the next one. We don't need it yet. Breath of the Wild is still fresh. Like,
sure. I think that they have to do something different. I don't think that you can walk it back and do like a very linear, very traditional, X number of temples Zelda. I think that would be upsetting. A Breath of the Wild 2 is plausible given the foundation that they built there and the extreme love, right? I mean, maybe this is a time that we do get another direct Zelda sequel, sort of like Ocarina of Majora. Maybe that's something that does happen. I would love to see them do something different, almost like a hybrid, like you kind of said, Jake, of taking the elements that made Breath of the Wild very cool and then providing more of a narrative structure and more of a designed path, finding a way to kind of make a middle ground or do something completely freaking different. An AR Zelda where you're looking for the Deku tree and you have to face scan every single tree in your village.
I want a couple of things, and I don't want to talk about Zelda for too long, but Wind Waker exists, right? Like that was a wholly different game. What if the next Zelda game is something like that, like completely different art style, something completely out of left field? The other thing I wanted to touch on, Samus Returns recently came out. So what if we get like something equivalent, but like with like Link's Awakening or something like that, where like they just remake one of the older games and they make it like look cooler and put that out on Switch instead of 3DS? That would be great.
Like Mario and Luigi.
Yeah. So I feel like do that stuff. I'd be happy with that because it's not going to be time for a new Zelda game for quite some time. But we can move on here to Aaron McCoby. Macomb? Yeah, I don't know. Reading is hard. I was going to get Wolfenstein on Xbox, but when it was announced for Switch, I knew I would get it even if the delay is quite long. Excuse me. If there is a choice for either console, Switch will be the one I get it on, even with the downgraded graphics or frames per second. Yeah, if you can wait, more power to you. That's not a game that I can wait for, so I can't do it. But I think it is an individual basis.
Gabe, we support you in your decision to wait. You can do it.
Nah, I can't. No, I'm not waiting.
I just think it's cool that people are like really embracing and realizing how cool it is to be able to play these games, these big third-party games on the go, and there are people that are willing to wait. Because it's something we've talked about, like, will people be willing to wait? And clearly there are people like Aaron who are.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think you also have to consider what percentage of the Switch install base is also a part of the day-and-date, get every game at launch audience. That's a much smaller audience than I think sometimes we're aware because we're immersed in the YouTube scene and the review scene and the early copy scene and all that. But plenty of people will naturally just wait until 2018 for Wolfenstein 2 because their money is soaked up by Destiny 2 or Battlefront 2 or Mario Odyssey or heck, a Switch itself, and they won't have the funds or the time or the desire to play Wolfenstein. So I think for a lot of people, it's not as big of an issue.
That's something that we've seen echoed throughout the week. Just because so much stuff is getting announced that people are saying like, hey, this is cool, like a lot of games, but now we don't have the time or the funds to play them all. Like that's that's a good problem to have. At some point, like too many good games on your console and your audience not being able to keep up, that's a good thing. So that is something that we saw a lot while looking through the comments. So
for sure,
yeah.
Red Rock says, "Hi, Switch Force. I'm 15 and I wake up every day for school. I have a few minutes to watch YouTube. Could you guys please start posting more videos early in the day? Just some friendly advice. Look at all the friends we have. Now we have an advice friend."
I feel like, Zach, you wrote this.
We were having talks this week about getting up earlier.
I want to wake up earlier. I want to. It's just very difficult when you get like 4 hours of sleep a night.
Well, I mean,
so Ryan, you got to prescribe that sleep plan, and then Red Rocks, we can get these videos up earlier for you.
Well, I mean, Red Rocks could just save some of the nightly videos and watch them in the morning.
Yeah, sure. But we also want a sleep friend. And I don't want to take
Whoa.
that No, I know. I don't want to take that anywhere weird. We just want a friend
Next
to
comment. Next comment.
cradle
Quick.
us to sleep.
Moving along.
Quick, Control-Delete. Cancel.
Go,
Gazensha Fox says,
yeah.
As Nintendo slows down on 3DS, they free up more teams to develop games for the Switch, which if you look at how many first and second party games are coming out for the Wii U and 3DS, this pace is maintainable if they consolidate their efforts on the Switch as time goes on. Even if that split across big games and stuff like 2D Metroid, smaller scope Zeldas, and the like. I think that's an interesting idea. Like, if they are going to, I mean, I don't know if they ever plan to phase out the 3DS, but if they do, then they could consolidate all of their power into one super system known as the Switch and have infinite Nintendo games on it.
I always say I'm open to being wrong, and I think I'm kind of coming around to the fact that I don't think that there's that many games coming next year. Excuse me. There's probably more games coming than I think there are. I just think that the expectation of like a game a month is unrealistic. Yeah, like I don't think we get 12, but yes,
from Nintendo proper, we are definitely getting 12 Switch games.
No, of course. Well, all right. I hate that we had to like clear that up, but sure. I obviously mean from Nintendo proper. There will 1000% be more than 12. There's more than 12 games like in this month. Like if we count Neo Geo and all the indie stuff. But yeah, I do mean from Nintendo proper. I'm starting to come around. Maybe we do get like 6 or 7. Who knows? But I think it's time to finally take care of the Turtle's problem here. He's been impatient. Impatient Turtle. He says, I like how people are like 30 FPS on a shooter. No way. Destiny 2 over here in a corner like, hi guys, 30 FPS even on Xbox One and PS4 and PS4 Pro. Difference though. There is a difference between Destiny 2 and Doom. Like they are very different type of shooters. One is like way more like Doom is a much faster pace and a Twitch based shooter almost.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the issue here is kind of what you mentioned at the top of the video, like how the game was initially intended to be played. There's nothing wrong with 30 frames per second if that's how the game was initially created. And I think that, yeah, to sort of tie things together, I feel like the snobbery over frame rates and pixel counts and things like that is a little overboard. I think it's just a very 2017 thing to be like, oh, it should be 4K, it should be whatever, it should look like this, even when like majority of people don't even have the options to see and play games that way.
Let me cut you off here though. And I know this isn't something you agree with, Zach. I'm aware of your stance on it. But Destiny 2 on PC plays so much better because it's 60 FPS. And call it snobbery, call it whatever. Like, the game feels way better. Like, to me, that's just a fact. But I also understand, like, not everybody has the luxury, like, to do that. But I think Doom is one that, you know, that game was created with 60 FPS in mind. So there are concessions being made.
I just want to know who was the rude person that put Impatient Turtle at the very end of CommentForce.
Whoops.
He's very impatient. Yeah. What if his name was Patient Turtle and throughout the course of this video it got changed to Impatient Turtle?
Yikes. That's like a Mandela effect that I don't want to dive into, but I want to dive out of this video by saying, yo, bring your games to Switch. Even if they can't hit 60, 1080, bring them to Switch. They probably will play good. There's no instance where I've played something on Switch and been like, yikes, this is terrible yet. And as long as that continues.
Well, NBA Playgrounds, how you doing?
Okay. I don't,
that looked trashy. It looked trashy.
It's a very minor title. I'm talking more like big third party. But regardless, we will keep playing and keep our eyes out for more and more good stuff on Switch. It seems like it's coming. It seems like they're on the right track, and I feel more confident than ever that this is going to be a mega success and a very nice console cycle. So thanks for being a part of it, guys and girls. We appreciate all your comments. Keep them coming throughout the week. We should have some good stuff coming at you. Lego Ninjago, Pokken Tournament, FIFA 18, and some more good things of that sort, and our top 5 indie games and a fall games list. So stay tuned for those. Until that time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great week. Hope you girls have a great week. Hope you rumor rats, you impatient turtles,
rumor rat is my favorite thing to come out of this video.
Yeah, God, just keep that.
There's a dang rumor rat again.
Keep that rumor rat away from me. You guys do your best. Freaking Fourth Edge, get out there and keep that rumor rat away from me. Until next time, I'm running from myself, Jake and Gabe. Switch Force